And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for the Lakers Fast Break. More NBA team previews. I hope you've enjoyed them so far. We've done quite a few. Hopefully that you are enjoying it. Please leave your comments, like, and subscribe below. Truly appreciate everything that you do for us here. And remember, just $2.99 a month, you are getting these 24 hours early when I drop them in alphabetical order. So make sure you become a member to get these early. And then also, if you missed any, they're right there on the playlist, right there on YouTube. And then also, they'll be uploaded to Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Well, let's head to Sacramento, our no longer nemesis, enemy, or whatnot. Back in the day, I was just actually watching the other day on YouTube the old highlights from the early 2000s, 2001, and 2002 with the Lakers and Kings battling it out, Western Conference Finals, going into overtime in a seventh game, exciting there in 2002. The clutch Robert Horry shot in Game 4, absolutely just great memories of Laker wins gone by. And Sacramento, unfortunately, outside of a brief little period recently of the couple of wins, tiny taste of the playoffs, has not really had much to chew on in this century since their battles with the Los Angeles Lakers. But that may change down the line, but I'm not sure when that is. And here to help give me some clairvoyance as far as that's concerned, good man indeed, please go ahead and check out his great work. It's part of the Kev Media. He has been running for quite a long spell now. I have actually interviewed him before, and it's been great to have him on the show before. It is, of course, Kevin Somani. Kevin, great to have you here. Also doing stuff with Geo Hotstar, everything as far as the sports world over there in India.
Yeah, it's good to be back, Gerald. I mean, it's like 5 years ago in 2019 we had our last episode, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, and from there I'm here again, talking about NBA, talking about basketball, talking about Kings. I've grown as a man, grown as a person, and also uh, my views for the game has been matured. The 20-year-old kid is has a different view of how the game of basketball is right now. So it's good to be back at Lakers Fast Break, and yeah, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. The boy
Mhm.
has now become a man, per se, as far as the NBA is concerned. So just watch it, though. When you go driving down the lane, you don't get a couple of elbows trying to test out that manhood, as far as that's concerned. But great to have you back on the show, Kevin. Looking forward to a conversation on the Sacramento Kings. And again, we talked about before in recent seasons, they did have some success. The Light the Beam period, where they had a couple seasons under Mike Brown, looked promising, looked like they were going to be a competitor in the Western Conference. But last year, a couple of moves that were kind of maybe not the greatest. Also, sending away De'Aaron Fox, one of their premier players, because disgruntlement, they did want to commit to a longer contract, what have you. Send him away to San Antonio. They instead brought in uh, the Kings from,
Zach
excuse me, the
Levine,
Bulls. Yeah, well, Zach Levine, and in recent years before that,
DeRozan.
DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, it's like Bulls West there in Sacramento. Of course, you still have Domantas Sabonis still anchoring the center position as best he can. But it just seemed like with whatever Sacramento was doing, it seemed like the rest of the Western Conference started to pass them by. I just don't see them with what they did this offseason really getting a whole lot better. But let's start off with the lineup that they have there. Let's start off with the man in the middle himself, Domantas Sabonis. He comes now as the foundational piece of what they've been doing. He does have his limitations in his game, but he does give you outstanding rebounding, positional defense, not necessarily a rim protector per se, but he can, on the offensive end, score underneath, and also does a great job of finding cutters when needed to, can facilitate that offense to some extent. But how far can you go with a player like that? We've seen Domantas Sabonis at his best, and the team hasn't gotten very far. If it doesn't go well this season, do you see the team making a long-term commitment or trying to maybe package Sabonis to somewhere else?
Uh, I I don't think so. It will be that easy for Sacramento Kings to give up another star, and especially when the era of big mans and forwards and centers is coming back, right? Uh, Domantas Sabonis is not the actual Nikola Jokic comparison type, but he gives you a bit of something like that. He gives you the playmaking, gives you the hustle on the basket, gets you the rebounds, manages all the dirty plays, all the physicality downstairs, and if you look at the squad, if you look at the depth chart for Sacramento Kings, there's no one other than Domantas Sabonis who plays at the same level. There's no one who can match up his intensity, match up his impact, match up his if you talk about the statistics, the player efficiency rating, or all those stats that you bring in, there's no one in the team uh, apart from Domantas Sabonis who can give you the same amount of impact that this guy can bring in. So packaging him would happen when you are thinking to tear it down and rebuild it again. And we have seen time and time again that whenever Sacramento Kings have tried to tear it down and start from the base up, their the time to get back to the peak, or just to improve themselves, is way longer than compared to the other teams. So it's a very measured step the franchisee has to take, and if they have to capitalize it on now, they should do it now. I mean, this should be the last season where they should test their waters, look what's working for them, what's not. Uh, Looking at the squad, I think if they feel that the Domantas Sabonis and building around him still works, and this team works out by any chance, uh, I would be more than happy to see a few changes. I mean, we have Jonathan Kuminga still on the line. I mean, he would accept the qualifying offer, it seems like, but if he does not, I really want to see him in the pink and whites at the Sacramento Kings arena.
I will tell you though, that's the major rumor or location if it really starts to go awry. Because as of this recording, still nothing has been done yet or finalized as far as a deal for Jonathan Kuminga, which is holding everything up in Golden State. That is still a tense situation as we're speaking now. Nothing has been committed on by either party. Both sides seem to be holding firm on the offers that they want to go ahead and come to an agreement to. There is the possibility of him just taking the 1 year offer from Golden State as far as the 1 year tender and becoming a free agent, or if he listens to Golden State, waiving his no trade clause and then allowing to be traded soon thereafter. So a lot of that partakes as far as what we see with Sacramento, because Sacramento has probably been the biggest name in the rumor mill regarding Jonathan Kuminga, partly because of the fact that he provides a certain dynamic that they don't have as far as a scoring wing who can do a lot of things on the perimeter. But it also tells me that after some promising years in Sacramento with a very veteran laden group that seemed to take them as probably as far as they could go, it seems like they're trying to infuse more talent in there, which is something they don't have an abundance of right now in Sacramento.
I mean, there are two star guards that they have let go of. First is Tyrese Halliburton for Domantas Sabonis, and
Yes.
now they lost De'Aaron Fox. Right? If you if you look at both of them, you know what impact they bring to their respective teams. We just saw what Tyrese Halliburton did with Indiana Pacers, and we know the potential of what De'Aaron Fox has with San Antonio Spurs. He just signed an extension, and that's a very lethal brutal, ruthless lineup of San Antonio Spurs when you pair up, a speedy guard like De'Aaron Fox with Victor Wembanyama, who is like an alien right now, right? So we have already given up talent, but right now Sacramento Kings are, I think they are capitalizing and they are very confident about their veteran lineup. You have Dennis Schroeder, you have Zach Lavine, you have DeMar DeRozan, you have Keegan Murray. No, Keegan Murray is very young. You have Zach Lavine, you have Darius Saric, you have Drew Eubanks. Like you can see the amount of experience this lineup has. And I mean, for me as a general manager, if I'm a Sacramento Kings general manager, I would give this squad a chance this year, and if things don't work out, I'm going to tear it down, to the very base. I will package away Dennis Schroeder, I will package away Zach Lavine, I'll package away DeMar DeRozan, get more draft picks, see how the league is changing, open up some draft capital, get prepared for the free agency next year. But that's a very far-fetched idea. For now, the vision for Sacramento Kings is to see what the outcome of this lineup can be. And my main concern looking at the depth chart is the front court. The bigs, they don't have enough bigs apart from Domantas Sabonis and Keegan Murray. Those are your two centers and power forward. But if you see the pecking order after it, it's quite concerning because no one can facilitate or compensate or how these guys are impacting on the court. And that's a main area of concern for us, and that is where Jonathan Kaminga's skills, height, physical attributes, everything comes into play and benefits us.
Once again, I'm on with Kevin Somani. Please go ahead and make sure you check out the great work that he's doing today, right there for you. Wherever you go ahead, make sure you catch him, including all the great places that he's at, including, of course, I want to go ahead and mention that he is at Geo Hotstar, and then of also as well the Kev Media. What a great name, the Kev Media, indeed. But all that said and done, as far as the Sacramento Kings, they do put out a lineup there again. I know a lot of people have been talking more lately about DeRozan as someone possibly because he fits the numbers at DeMar DeRozan as a Hall of Famer. I mean, I'll let you believe that what you will. I know that he lines up at 36 years of age in his 36-year season, along with Zach Lavine, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, and of course Sabonis. I mean, that's a competent lineup, but in the Pac West, I just don't know where I put them. Tell me about some of the younger players. Of course, Dennis Schroeder also coming in as well. Dennis Schroeder actually may start for this team coming off that tremendous performance. He is another individual because of his tremendous performance in Euroball is now being considered a possible Hall of Famer as well. Tell me about the younger players on this team as far as the Devin Carter, who was a lottery draft pick, that they want to give a chance to. Keegan Murray is now no longer the youngest player on the team as far as that they're giving a chance. They're still putting him in a power forward position, but can he develop his game beyond what he's been doing? Because he did kind of take a little bit of a step back last year. Keon Ellis, that's someone who a lot of people who've been high on, especially from a defensive standpoint, but can he put it together here, or will he wait until he puts it together somewhere else? Similar to what we saw from Davion Mitchell, who was in Sacramento's backcourt, didn't develop the way that they wanted to. They traded him to Toronto, got traded again to Miami, and developed as a player there, really came on last season. So tell me about the young players in this mix as far as Sacramento. Do you see anyone just like coming out and really making a great contribution for this team?
I mean, one of the best things that the Kings have done is they have looked for players who have better defensive potential, right? You talked about Devin Carter. He's a defensive guard. You talk about Maximin Reynard. who's another 7-1 center, who can you can guard, and who fills up the big size, who can you can come as a backup center if it develops well. Right now I see him as third in the pecking order, but from what I have read and from what I see in the situation right now, his early contributions will definitely decide if he can start and make some changes. I mean, if like the very very high ceiling, if I'm thinking about Maximum Renaud, I would say that he can start as a center, which will help Domantas Sabonis come down to the power forward. Then you have DeMar DeRozan, Zach Levine, and then Dennis Schroeder. If Malik Monk stays, he'll be the sixth man, and that is how the things are. So obviously, we did not have really good positions in the draft, and that is the main, like, Kings did whatever they could with their picks, and they tried to fill the right hole in the squad. But again, front court depth is a main concern. I mean, if they are going to make any mid-season changes, I would agree with you that DeMar DeRozan fits the bill for being the first candidate to be out of the team if things don't work out, because we already have a really good offensive lineup in Domantas Sabonis, Dennis Schroeder, and Zach Levine. DeRozan can move to somewhere else, and we can add a couple of forwards and centers in place of him. But coming back to the rookies, uh, their potential is not so high, and I don't expect much from them. But yeah, they definitely fill the gaps of lacking that defensive depth the team has been looking for.
Well, Nick Clifford, though, I was here in Vegas when Nick Clifford was one of the standouts as far as summer league. So I think if anybody out of that pack of Murray or Ellis or Reynald or Carter does break out of that pack, the 21st pick in the draft, I believe, Nick Clifford might be the player to do it. I don't know. Again, you can't base your whole thing off the summer league, but what I saw there was someone that could become a gifted scorer in the league, could give you enough defensive hustle and intensity that it might be someone who could play or eventually develop maybe as a two-way player, but definitely from a scoring potential, if he can get his shot to even an average level of the NBA, could become a one of the better players on this team. But again, that's still, like you said, still a long ways off. But on a team like this, which again, very veteran laden, but in a packed Western Conference, I don't know how successful he'll be. They'll be. Look for Nick Clifford probably to get more opportunities as the season wear on, and we'll see if he takes advantage of it.
I mean, yeah, definitely. As you said, you cannot base your judgment just on the summer league numbers, because the level of competition there and the level of competition in the regular season is way different. And when you're competing for play-ins and finishing top 10 in the conference, uh, I don't think so. A lot of reliance should be put on the rookies, but Doug Christie, he came into the mid-season after Mike Brown was fired, and the first thing he made was he tightened up the defense of the team. And Nick Clifford definitely is the first guy to look at when you want to defend someone after Keegan Murray. So the draft day trade of Nick Clifford definitely fills those gaps. But the reason I'm way more confident about Maxime Renaud is because you don't have the front court depth. You need a center. Uh, I don't consider Domantas Sabonis to be a proper center, even though he's been playing center for a long time for the Sacramento Kings. I see him playing more at the power forward position. And if someone can fill the holes of a center in this team, which has a lack of tall players, I think, even like if this things breaks out, if Renaud has a really good season, he can come before Drew Eubanks in the depth chart.
So let me ask you this. I've been asking almost all of my guests here as far as these NBA team previews. One of the basic questions for the Kings and for the other teams in these team previews. So let's say everything goes right. Let's say that Nick Clifford pops as a potential rookie of the year candidate. Maxime Renal gives you some rotational minutes as a sorely needed big man, some size, because Sabonis, for all the great rebounding and things he does inside, is a smaller center and provides you zero rim protection, to be quite honest with you. But again, he says certain things on offense that cannot be overlooked. And then you have Keegan Murray bouncing back to becoming a 40% shooter from behind the arc. Zach Levine doing the same and becoming a scorer, popping around 20 to 22 a game. And you also get DeMar DeRozan drinking from the fountain of youth at 36, still giving you another 20 points a game, plus Malik Monk doing what Malik Monk does. Let's say that all happens, plus Keon Ellis pops out into the player many of the NBA, sickos out there, which is the term out there for, for this year, really people in the know really eye him as someone that has a potential breakout. Let's say he does. Let's say everything goes right for the Sacramento Kings. Where do you see their season ending up if it all goes right?
To be very, 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 very optimistic, I would say they will miss the playoffs. They'll finish around 12th to 10th, around those places. They might sneak into the play-ins, but the biggest problem for Kings is that, if there are like dynamic guards in the team, and if there are attacking wings, which is the trend you see in Western Conference teams. A lot of teams have really good guards. They're stacked with guards, and that is the future for the NBA moving forward. And that is the reason Sacramento Kings cannot go much ahead, even if they qualify for the play-ins or for the playoffs, hopefully. But very realistically, Sacramento Kings are not going for the playoffs. They will end at around 11 or 12th in the standings, and just call it a day.
There you go, indeed. All right. Well, Kevin, I truly appreciate you joining us. But before we head on out, I am also asking our NBA T preview guests one basic question as well about the Lakers, their rival in the Pacific Division. The evil Lakers down south, if in Sacramento would say. If sometimes I would believe if instead of lighting the beam up in the air, I assume they try to light the beam in another direction towards LA. But be that as it may, the Lakers have Luka skinny and in shape, getting closer to training camp here as we record this. LeBron in his age 41 season still trying to go ahead and keep father time on the curb, trying to say, no, not yet, not yet. The Lakers getting a few additions to try and help the team. Where do you see them as a contender or a possible contender in the Western Conference?
If if Luka Doncic is what he is, and is what he will be, what we saw at the FIBA Eurobasket, I think there's no one stopping them. They can definitely finish top four in the stacked Western Conference. Again, you guys got a big steal in DeAndre Ayton. Say whatever you want to say about him, but at the end of the day, DeAndre Ayton has played in the finals, and we have seen when he has his best days, he can really ball it out. And you pair it with Austin Reeves, you pair it with LeBron James, and then you have an addition of Marcus Smart. You know, all those things just fit in really well. You need those shooters. You have those perimeter shooters in Austin Reeves. Even LeBron can shoot whenever he wants. And Dalton connect. you also have him. So those perimeter shooters you have some good bigs with whom Luka can possibly play those lob threats games, get on the pick and roll and just throw it at the basket. And then you have the defensive guards as well in Marcus Smart. So I think this team can finish top four if everyone's playing their A game. God forbid something happens to Luca, because for the past 3 years he has been carrying that heavy Luca, the dad bod Luca, which we know throughout the league. And it will take some time for him to fit in, but if he just catches up with the league, and if he gets going, then Lakers are going to finish in top four for sure, and I'm jealous of
There,
it.
there you go. Absolutely. Who knows if the Lakers do look like a serious contender in the West right around the trading deadline? Who knows? Maybe the Kings and the Lakers will become trading partners, indeed, to get some additional help if needed. So we will see what happens. But Kevin, it's been great having you on. I promise it will not be a 5-year gap this time around as far as our conversations. I will bring you on during the course of the season. I'm looking to do more content during the course of the days so I can provide our consumers a little bit more opportunities to catch good NBA talk. So, with that, my friend, let me hear your thoughts. This is what we call the cheap plug at the end of the show. Let everyone out there know how they can find you, what great work you're working on, and what you can go ahead and let everyone know about when it comes to the world of sports.
Obviously, as Gerald has mentioned, that I work at Geo Hotstar. That's like the ESPN of India. We mainly work on cricket broadcasting. We are the biggest broadcasters in the subcontinent. So I'm working there. Other than that, I have covered Indian basketball for the past 3 years. So you can just check up my work by just googling my name. You can search for KEVIN Kevin Somani on Google. You'll find my in-depth pieces which I've done on Indian basketball. And definitely, I'm looking forward to do more NBA talks with you, Gerald. Hopefully this time it would be a regular affair, not like the 5-year gap which you mentioned about. And yeah, looking forward to more NBA talks. Hopefully the Lakers fumble and the Kings come back again attacking, and we light the beam again.
Oh, uh, there's a lot of people. Them could be fighting words, but no, no, that's okay. That's just fine by me. Believe me, trust me. When my channel, since our time that we last spoke, it got a little bigger. We got a little bit of bigger audience. They're very vocal, so even fans from other teams regularly frequent our shows. So I'm very grateful for that, and they are very opinionated, to say the least. So I've gotten quite used to it. But Kevin, great to have you on the air with us. I will be making it a much shorter time as far as our conversations. You can guarantee that. But I'm looking forward to having that conversation during the season, checking in with you as far as the Kings are concerned and the NBA, as only we can do right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.